What's up guys, Footballpedia here, and today I have a video to prove that the blackout process actually works. On my video, the do-it-yourself video on how to black out any pairs of soccer cleats, I've gotten a lot of comments asking if the paint actually sticks, will it work on synthetic cleats. This is pretty much my response to all these comments, considering that these are synthetic boots. So first off, I am actually pleasantly surprised by how well the paint has sticked, and this is definitely due to the acrylic resin, which I didn't really mention in the video, but I added an update in the comment. And the acrylic resin is kind of like a coat at the end that you can put on. It really lets the paint stick, which has been proven to be the case with my pair of cleats. So overall, as you can tell, I haven't washed these after playing with these last time, just to prove that I actually wore them for playing. This on firm ground and turf. I mean, the turf doesn't really show any dirt on the cleats, but I did use these on turf as well, plenty of times, more than just once. So that's that. Looking at the cleats, you can tell that here on the bottom, where the sole plate and the upper meet, there is some slight discoloration. Keep in mind that I have not touched these up yet in the sense that I haven't repainted them. This is still the original base. On the other cleat, same thing. If you look around, on the upper itself, nothing really. I mean, even when someone has kicked me, it has stayed on properly. The light I'm trying to show if there's any discoloration. No, up here on the collar, but that might be the poor application of the acrylic resin, so I had to kind of do this in a rush, I guess, which is never a good thing, and I will never do that again. I really take my time when doing this. Now looking at the sole plate of the boots, you can tell that there's quite a bit of discoloration. There's a reason why I didn't mention the sole plate, or I didn't want to color the sole plate in my do-it-yourself video, because I was afraid of this happening. And by this I mean the discoloration and the color peeling off of the sole plate, since it is a plastic. My attempt was to use the regular dye. Here, just a video that a picture of that happened on both. So I kind of I tried it out with the dye, since I had a lot of it left over, and I thought, why not? I used the acrylic resin as well, but you can see that it did stick at the parts that don't touch the ground, but all the cleats that actually touch the surface, so the grass, they're all peeling off right there. This is due because the dye is not really soaking into the material, it's rather just staying on top. And the same thing goes for the upper. The dye is really only an extra coat on top, whereas with leather it actually soaks into the material itself. But with this plastic, it doesn't soak in, and with the acrylic resin, I was able to actually coat it and protect it so it doesn't crumble off. But this, I cannot say the same about the sole plate, obviously. So what I recommend, if you really want to dye out your sole plate, which is with a lot of boots maybe not necessarily, to give it some extra pop, you can just, I guess you can just use Sharpie in a way. So that's what they call here in the United States. I'm not sure what they call in other regions of the world, but just Sharpie some permanent marker will definitely work. It might not look as clean, but if you use long strides when using the pen, I'm sure it will look great. I've had other people send me pictures of them using it with a Sharpie on the bottom, and it has looked pretty good. I have not heard any complaints. Some other frequently asked questions in the comments are what kind of laces I use. So since the last video, I've switched out the laces, since I thought the red looked really nice. These are the Nike Plus red laces. You can find them on Nike.com for $5. I mean, they're expensive for laces, but the thing about the Nike Red is that they donate the proceedings to Africa. And I mean, this is great since you're supporting a good cause whilst wearing cool laces. Some details on the laces would be lace up, save lives. So it's just a campaign by Nike, and they've been doing this for the past few years. Alright, another question that I've been asked quite a bit is if the dye affects the weight or performance of the shoe in any way. Flat out, the answer is no, it does not. I mean, especially with this kind of boot, it is just it's just a straight-on synthetic. It does have the dimpling, but since the dye is not that thick, it didn't cover too much of the dimpling, so you really shouldn't be able to feel any difference in performance whatsoever. The weight, of course, is not affected. I mean, it might be a milligram or so, but really don't worry about the weight in this case. Also, I've gotten questions on what color you can use. Colors, it does not have to be black, since Tarago does sell many other colors on their eBay webpage, but it should be darker than the original color, because if you have a black soccer shoe but want to dye it white, this will not work, since the black will still peek through the white and it will be sort of a gray shade at the end. I mean, unless you want a gray soccer shoe, I would not recommend it. But if you, for example, want a pink soccer shoe or a red, let's go with red. You want a red soccer shoe, and your original boot color is white. This, of course, will work since the darker color is the dye in this case. With my shoes were sunset orange, yellow with the fade in the back, and black is obviously darker, so that will definitely work. That's really it for the most asked questions. If you have any other questions, just leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them. Alright, that was it for today. I appreciate it that you've watched the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you have any other questions, like I said before, I'll answer them down below. Subscribe for more videos. I'll be producing a lot of new content in the future. I'm looking to get some partnerships to work with some other companies, perhaps some other people on Instagram, just to expand my horizons. So stay tuned for that. Thank you very much. I appreciate any feedback of any kind. If it's negative, I'll be open to criticism. I'll be open to positive feedback, of course. Thank you very much for watching. Peace.